What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Acura Audio Garage. Today I got a quick video for you. We're just doing a remote start on this beautiful ILX 2018. So you have a newer Acura. Adding a remote start to your vehicle is going to be, I want to say, fairly straightforward and simple, but still complicated, if that makes sense. So let me show you what I got working with. So we have a T-harness. This eliminates the need for us to do any cutting, splicing, or permanent modifications. We might need to hook up a wire or two for optional parking lights, etc., like that, but this will allow us to install a remote start quickly and also keep us from making any crazy mistakes, and I'll show you what that looks like in a second. And we have our actual remote start. So we're using an Omega Link branded remote start. The remote starts most companies are owned by Vox now. So Vox is the parent company. They sell Omega Link, iData Link, a couple of other brands, etc. And then we just have my instructions I printed out. So if you're thinking about adding a remote start to your Acura, I just recommend taking it to a well-known remote start shop in your area, because if you try to do this on your own, you're going to need access to special software you're not going to have. And if for some reason something doesn't program correctly, something's going wrong, you're going to have to call support. And getting support on the personal side is very annoying. Getting support on the installer side is a lot easier, but you're not going to have access to that. So that's the only reason I recommend going to a shop, just because the do-it-yourself, you're there, it's gatekept here. You don't have access to the software, and that's going to be the most important thing. The remote start brain, which I'll show you in a second, you're going to have to flash, and you're not going to have access to that software. So for our remote start, we're going to keep the factory key, so we're not going to be adding extra remotes. You can if you want to. The extra remote kit will need the antenna, I'm sure you've seen before, and additional remotes. But for us, all we're going to do is we're going to enable locking the vehicle 3 times in a row, and that will start the car. So let me show you the additional pieces, and I'll show you some of the disassembly and what goes into doing the remote start. So the first thing we want to do is take a look at our T-harness and verify the connections that we are going to use and the ones we're not. As you can see, here are the 2 possible connections you would have to make. So the horn we aren't going to be hooking up. The hood switch is reported through the CAN bus in this car, so we don't need to hook that up. And then the only possible connection we will make is the lights off and the parking lights. So those are the wires that are here. I'm going to go through this and verify that I have all these connectors. You see they're labeled VS1, VS2, etc., and verify that everything I need is here. Alright guys, so after looking through our diagram, we have determined that our MS5 connection is not needed. VS6, you see it says VS6, VS5. This wiring harness is not needed, along with this white with the gray. That's for the hood input and these extra pins. So what we ended up using out of the HA10 is these wires right here. And the reason we're eliminating that is because this vehicle, the ILX we're working on, doesn't have... The reason why we eliminated those harnesses is because the ILX we're working with doesn't have a steering column lock. So you can turn the steering wheel without the key being in there, and it never locks up. So I'll show you what that means. So it means you can continue to turn this without it ever locking up, and you can see the car isn't on, the key isn't in there, it doesn't recognize that it's an ignition or anything. So because it doesn't have the lock, we don't hook that up, so we only need to find these connectors in the car. I'm gonna go look for them now. They appear to be A and B. Alright guys, so to install our remote start, we're actually going to come up and under here. So I'm going to shine some light. I'm going to stick the camera under there. And right above that gas pedal, hoping you can see this computer, we're going to take some harnesses out of there and plug in our T-harness. As you can see, we installed our T-harnesses. So as you can see guys, we installed our T-harnesses. It might be a little tough to see because of the angle. And now we have some wiring here that we need to connect to our remote start, program our remote start, and then test everything out. Alright guys, so we finished our install. We put in our special sticker, basically just letting any mechanic know who works on this car, or anyone who works on this car, period, hey, there's a remote start here. Make sure you disable it if you're going to work on the starting system. And also, because the vehicle reports through the CAN bus to our remote start brain that the hood is open, the vehicle won't start when the hood is open. So we ran through our checklist. Everything came out great. We did our programming. Again, something I didn't show on camera is the whole programming of the brain through the computer and then programming it to the vehicle by running through the programming steps, turning the key on and off, hitting a button, etc. So this, you might have just seen me plug those 2 connectors in and assume that was all I did, but there is programming and module programming and computer programming that has to be done for you to achieve this. So it's not going to be something you're going to have access to, that software. So again, I'm going to reiterate one more time, just bring it to a reputable shop, make the investment. It's going to be worth it in the long run. It's going to be for the life of your vehicle that you're going to have it, so it's worth the investment. But all right, I'm going to close everything up and I'll give you guys a demo. All right guys, so here goes a little demo. We're going to hit lock 3 times in a row. Timing is very important here. So 1, 2, 3. See, we got our feedback from our car. Our lights are going to turn on, and there the vehicle has started. Now it's going to run for 15 minutes. That can be changed to 10, 12, 4, etc. Can't be longer than 15. And if you don't get in the car and you need to shut it down, you just hit lock 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And the car will shut itself off. I'm going to start it one more time so we can go over the takeover procedure. I'm going to hit 1, 2, 3. Now for our takeover procedure, again, this is only available with the latest T-harness. You see we're going to have some time restrictions. We're going to unlock the door, open the door, close the door, press the brake, wait 3 seconds, and then we can drive off. Basically, what this means is you're taking over the driving or the driving responsibility of the car now. So what you're going to do is you're going to unlock the door. Get in, we're going to close the door, you're going to press the brake, and there's no need to press any buttons now. You can just drive off as normal. Before this T-harness was available, you had to, whenever you opened the door, the vehicle would shut off and then you would need to get in the vehicle and restart it. So I hope this video had some information that was helpful for you if you were thinking about getting a remote start. You can see it's not too complicated, but again, just bring it to a professional, avoid the headache, and just have a warranty and peace of mind with your investment, you know, that you did that. You aren't going to have any issues, and if you do, you have someone you can bring it to instead of trying to call support or Googling and spending time with something you're unfamiliar with. All right guys, that's going to be it for the video. I hope this information was useful in helping you make a decision about getting a remote start or not. It's remote start season, so if you don't want to be freezing your ass off, I highly recommend it. Again, make sure you like the video, subscribe, stick around. We always have Acura content, different Acura audio related or maybe 12-volt related things. So if you're looking for more content like this, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching.